तो उधर खच्चर के बहन का कुछ खाने के लिए वहाँ कुछ खाना है।
दो सबको बात वहाँ से खाली खाली जितना आने उसको ले रे बिल्कुल खाली में रख कहाँ रहता है तुमको दे दिया खर्ची आम दे दिया नहीं खाओ ये सब खाओ दो देवता जो आ रहे अच्छा नीचे ही ले जाया खराब 2 बार उठाना पड़ता है यहाँ से तकलीफ होता है नीचे ही जमा कर वहीं मैं सारी प्रॉपर्टी मिलिट्री को देना चाहता हूँ वहाँ हाँ संपूर्ण अपनी जितने भी मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है इस देश में सब मिलिट्री के अधीन कर देता है या लिख दो इसमें ये विचाराधीन क्यों है जब मैं करोड़ों की संपत्ति गवर्नमेंट को दे दिया हूँ इसमें कहीं विचाराधीन हो गया है जयमल जी केला लगाओ नेताजी और ले जाओ सुनिए और ले लो ओ जयमल जी जगमल जगमल बाबा राम राम बोलो जगमल बाबा तुम जाओ आप 2 रुपया तक ले लेना है और जाओ काम करना आज
चल रहे हैं बाबा के साथ जब तक मैं चलता हूँ बाबा जल्दी आना.
We're at the top end of the Almora town ridge. From this point we can see both sides of the ridge. The Ma Ashram is on the far side of this near ridge with the buildings on it. And there's Crank's Ridge in the distance. And below us is the beginning of the Bazaar Street. And we're standing on the platform of the Tripuri Sundari Mandir. There are 3 murtis smeared with kumkum here with little silver eyes. Here's a shoe mender in the Almora Bazaar, a few yards further down the ridge from Tripura Sundari.
Smile please, look and smile. अपने बच्चों के नाम से, अपने माता बहनों के नाम से, अपने परिवार में प्रत्येक व्यक्ति के नाम से.
Selling kerosene. Milk sweets. Tin trunk shop on the left. Standing just above the small top bazaar in Almora, we can look out over the valleys towards Raniket. To the right there's Crank's Ridge, and you can see among the trees on the furthest hillock Kasari Devi. Beyond Kasari Devi is the Tibetan Gompa, out of sight. You can see the white blobs marking the road that leads along Crank's Ridge towards the Gompa. And you can just glimpse part of the road here in the near foreground. We're at the end of the Almora Ridge itself. And this is the path that leads up to Haimavati, where Sri Anirvan and Lizelle Reymond lived. The near block of steps leads to Haimavati, and the garden just above us nearly conceals the house. You can just see the gable from here. Even once one's inside the steps and the garden wall, the trees and the plants almost hide the house. But there's a big veranda round the back beside the large window, and that's really the main entrance. Sri Anirvan called every place he lived in Haimavati. This house was bought by Lizelle Reymond for him to use as an ashram. He lived here for a few months and then moved on. The wooden bed in the veranda used to be Anirvan's. And the wooden doorway on the left leads to the dining room where he used to serve the guests. Next to the dining room is the room where Sri Anirvan used to sleep. His bed was in the corner under the wooden Hanuman, which he brought himself from Calcutta. From the hills overlooking Almora, we can see out on a hazy afternoon in the direction of Ranikhet, across the Kumaun valleys. And there's Almora spread out along the ridge. It's a huge sprawl. It takes perhaps an hour and a half to walk from one end to the other end, and there are outlying settlements and buildings on all the nearby ridges. But we can pick out in the middle of the built-up area the spire of the Bhadrashwar Mandir, which is just near the post office and the bus station, and is the first thing that one sees when one arrives in the town. The built-up area slightly higher up the hill than the mandir conceals the old bazaar. And when one walks along the ridge, it doesn't look like very far from here, but in fact it's a long walk indeed. One comes eventually to the Anandamayi Ma Ashram, which is on the side of the hill, a little bit down from the main part of the town. It's the building with the red roof, just beside a clump of trees. Just below it and to the right is the white blob of the Patal Devi Mandir. And not far beyond the Anandamayi Ma Ashram, the ridge ends, and a new and higher ridge marks the end of Almora and the beginning of what they call Cranks Ridge, on which are in former times were the hippies, and now at the far end there's Haimavati, where Sri Anirvan used to live. It's hidden behind these trees. But this ridge we're looking at now is actually the eastern end of it, and the Tibetan Gompa is about another mile along the ridge, so that the Tibetans and Sri Anirvan overlook the whole of Almora. There's Crank's Ridge. Looking along Crank's Ridge from a little further along than the view we just took. To the right you can glimpse Almora through the trees. And behind us is the Kesari Devi Mandir. It's very quiet up here. Occasionally a little bit of wind in the trees and a cowbell. Otherwise it's silent. The path leads beyond Kesari Devi, along the ridge. And on another little summit there's a gateway and some more buildings, which are dharmsalas for sadhus, and some little lingam shrines. Here's the first shrine. Here's the second shrine. Opposite the second shrine, there's a little hut with 2 abandoned living rooms in it. And another living hut. By the time we reached the end of the ridge, the mist had come down, but you can still just see the chorten marking where Guru Lama and his Tibetan followers are living. Their unfinished temple is down beyond this gateway. Here's Guru Lama's house and their prayer flag. From the porchway of what used to be Lama Govinda's house, now lived in by Guru Lama, you can see some of the Tibetan children in the area. The lady in the red skirt is Guru Lama's wife. The Lama himself is away at the moment. This is the room where Lama Govinda wrote most of his books, including Way of the White Clouds and Foundations of Tibetan Mysticism. And this is Guru Lama's shrine.